What are you doing, dude? High five. Oh, you may be asking yourself why there's no carburetors on Dad's Hemi in his 68 Charger. Oh, it's because we're looking for efficiency, and that means no more street demons. Because these things, to tune these things worth a dang, you got to pull them off. They come apart from the bottom, and then you got to kind of guess with your jets and hope to God it's right. Then if it's not right, you got to take it back off. And well, they look pretty, they work good, but this car's always run stupid pig wretch.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. So we took them off because that intake is not a stock Hemi intake. That's a Holley Marine intake, I believe designed by Keith Black. And that one came from our good friend Tom in St. Louis. So we're gonna do what's right with that intake, and we're gonna put a pair of Holleys on it, as it should have been. So through the mighty powers of Jags and Rob, we got ourselves a pair of QFT, I think, or no, I can't remember what the hell they are. They're Brawler Series 600 vacuum secondaries. The bane of my existence, I hate vacuum secondary carburetors, but in the sense this is the only thing you can use with that intake, really. So we got two brand new bad boys right here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's a pretty carburetor. First impressions to me out of the box was I do not like how it's just plain on the front. That would work good for like a show car or something, I guess. I mean, for the money these things cost, you just can't really go wrong. I think this, can't remember what this thing costs new. It's about 300 bucks, 320 bucks, something like that. Can't really go wrong. And we got a pair of these exactly matched, and we're gonna be doing away with the vacuum diaphragm right there and replacing it with a Holley quick change kit, so that way we can tune this thing on the fly. Because changing the vacuum, changing out the springs in this, otherwise you got to pull the thing off. It's a pain in the butt. So we'll just put the quick change thing on here so we can swap springs in and out until we get it how we want it, and then we can put this back on with the right spring. But that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get to work, pull these vacuum pods off, change everything over into these quick change pods, get them set up. We'll get to put it on the car. All right, we ran into the first little snag with these Brawler carburetors. And it's a neat problem. It's kind of cool how they do it. Makes it easier to work with, but can't run them in line like that. On these Brawler carburetors, they extend this tube back here. I can't remember what the hell that's for because I never use it because I got a real car. PCV, vacuum, whatever that thing is. Normal Holley, that's sunk underneath the bowl. And on these guys, they stick it way out there, and that's causing it to hit this carburetor. So you want that one to sit where it's supposed to. You try and put this one on, it will not make it. What a pain in the butt. But they sure do look pretty, kind of sitting there. All right, we got that stupid vacuum port ripped out of the primary carburetor, and those things do look pretty good. I don't think we're gonna need to put the quick changes on because apparently, according to QFT or whoever makes this thing, which is actually made in the USA, surprisingly enough, that little screw right there is the adjuster, and it has like its own built-in adjuster for changing the rate in which the secondary's open. Kind of neat. You have to definitely redo your fuel line, Dad. It sucks.
Yeah.
But luckily, that stainless steel line we got there from Allstate Carburetor is same, so it can literally just transfer over to this side. This side, get the camera pointing right at place. But that looks better. Pair of Holleys. Gotta help these things work.
They're all chromey and shit.
They're not chrome, they're just kind of ball burners finish. They'll look like crap before you know it. But they're brand new, so.
They kind of match my breathers, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it, yeah. They'll age.
They'll be covered up with that air cleaner anyway.
That's true. Hopefully the air cleaner Oh, we should
It
test the
should be
airplane.
the same.
We should test it. Well, you might be wondering why the demons are back on. Well, way too many fitment issues, and honestly, I may have been a little bit glamored up by the pretty nice shiny carburetors that we had, those quick fuels, but
Looking demons don't look bad.
no. The demons work, they clear everything. So the problems we were having with those quick fuels, which probably should have showed you but didn't think about it, I was a little bit irritated. But the little choke pieces that actuate the electric chokes, they were hitting the intake. And there's not much you can do with that other than remove the choke.
Put a spacer on.
Or put a spacer. And well, we had that one port in the back that was hitting, so we removed that. And we were gonna plug it, but you know, we didn't get around to that because then we had that piece hit the intake. So I got some, what were they, 1/4 or 1/8 inch acrylic spacers. I mean, the smallest spacer you can possibly buy, about that thin. Put it underneath the carburetors with no gaskets, put the air cleaner on it, and it hits right here on the hood where we cut it out for the old cross ram cutout. Now that could be cut out bigger, but
Don't want to.
don't want to. It's all finished in here, flanged and everything, so those piles of junk are going back. And I'll be honest with you, after taking a look at those carburetors in depth, you know, after all these issues, they're really not that nice for carburetor. They're dirt cheap. I mean, you can't beat them for the price, but you know what? Let's just go show you. Let's show you the difference between a real Holley and these quick fuel Brawler, whatever they are. Alrighty, well, here's a side-by-side between a newer model Holley. I think it's 600, 650, and this is the Brawler 600 vacuum secondary. So first off, you can see the way they do the linkage on these. Now you can see the linkage the way they do it on these versus the traditional Holley. I mean, ultimately this is probably better. This is pretty traditional stuff here. The way this arm fits, pretty tight. This one, pretty tight. What you got that's nice here is you do have adjustable air bleeds. It's awesome. Versus a traditional Holley, you have to drill them out. The choke flap, it seals in there pretty tight. The Brawlers, they give you this big old air door. That I do like. And coming down to the vacuum pond, well, got the big H on there for Holley. Performance carburetors, the quick fuel deal. I'm guessing this is quick fuel. It's literally just plain with a sticker that literally will come right off if you touch it too much. And if you turn them up on end, which is actually really hard to do because of the stupid vacuum deal, we'll turn them up like this. Now I know on the old original Holleys, this did not stick up this much. At least the ones I've messed with. But yeah, you can look at the bases, how they're made. You got a real brass secondary plate, where these I'm pretty sure are just steel. But you got a steel primary on this one. See how Holley does their fittings, their vacuum ports, quick fuels. This one's right out of the box. This one I rebuilt for a friend of mine. You know who you are. But I mean, if you just feel the way the linkage opens on a Holley, it's just, you guys won't be able to feel that. It's just got a feel to it, let me tell you. It's just, it feels solid. Uh-oh, coming down on us. Yeah. It's just nice, whereas you go over this here quick fuel, and yeah, you can hear it right there. It just ain't fantastic. And when this is moved, there's a lot of play in that little arm. Over here to the Holley, and it's about the same. If you also compare the castings, I mean, there's a lot more casting to this Holley, makes it look a little bit fancier versus the quick fuel. It's pretty plain. I mean, if you like plain, that's fine. I mean, one thing I definitely don't like is the way that fuel bowl is. It just looks very cheaply done. Don't look that nice to me. I might just be a traditionalist, but I like all this shit going on here. Looking at it, may just be me, but this looks like it's a longer fuel bowl than on the Holley. I measured the fuel bowls, and it's just in the castings, but they are the same length. They just look different. One nice thing I will say about this is you get the actual circlipped glass float sights. Our additional Holley, you don't get that. You get the old plugs. I mean, ultimately it comes down to price and feel. If you could feel the difference between the traditional Holley here and this here quick fuel, it's just hands down, I'm gonna go with that every day versus, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna take one of these because I don't like vacuum and I don't like chokes, electric chokes. So personally, I wouldn't want nothing to do with either of these, but we will be returning these, and I feel bad. It's not Rob's fault. I'm the one who actually picked out those for Dad, but I don't like it, not one bit. Do I recommend it? If you're broke and you need a brand new carburetor, it probably would work, but it will not work with Dad's Hemi. This is that linkage I'm talking about. That hits the intake, and this is one of my little spacers, and that made everything hit. So these just ain't gonna work for his application, but they work for you, possibly. But that's only 4160 series carburetors. What about double pumpers? So now for your entertainment, we have a 750 CFM Holley, a newer model one. It's got all the different casting lines in here. We have what I believe is a 750 or an 800 HP Holley. A little bit different. It's got the air bleeds and everything. And then we have my 750 Holley Brawler, or a quick fuel Brawler, whatever the brand is. I can't ever keep it straight. I bought this thing brand new. So I have a project car. It was perfect for it. And just tell me that don't look cooler than shit black and red. I will say this, in comparison to the quick fuel 4160, this is a lot nicer carburetor. And part of it is the way it looks. I mean, this thing, the casting quality, I mean, look, we actually got some kind of stuff going on in the fuel bowls. We can pick which side we have the fuel inlet, like a Dominator. And when you open this bad boy, it feels a little bit more solid. I think it's just in the way the material the linkage is made out of. It just don't have the same feel to it that a traditional Holley will. Like, we'll come over here to this guy, and I know this thing is made out of the traditional Holley material, this pot metal aluminum. This thing weighs considerably more than this guy. Let's go over here and you hear that versus you ought to be able to hear the difference there. And then we come here to our HP. This thing's hard to move because it's got 50cc pumps on it, but I love that. That's how it should be to me. Should have that snap to it when it shuts. Now, I ain't saying nothing bad about this because we obviously haven't run those quick fuels, those little 4160s, and I haven't tried this thing out or anything yet. But I'm a lot happier with this thing. At least it looks freaking cooler than hell, and the casting quality is a lot nicer. I wish quick fuel would do something with the fuel bowls, at least as an appearance thing. But I mean, this thing still doesn't have the feel to it that a real Holley does. Do I recommend these? Sure. Like I said, I ain't tried it yet, but these 4160 Brawlers that, as you can see, just threw it back in the box. They're going back. I got nothing to do with those. They're not for me. But, I mean, it comes down to whatever your preference is, what your budget is. Honestly, I don't think they should even make a vacuum secondary carburetor. It should all be double pumpers. Yep. I think from now on, I'm just going to stick to buying used carburetors, because at least I know they're made of great stuff. Yeah, you can definitely hear that quality difference. So, there's my information. on a Holley versus a quick fuel carburetor. Hope someone finds this of a good use, and hope it helps you determine which carburetor to buy. My opinion, always buy the Holley. But if you're gonna buy a quick fuel or one of these cheaper brands, get a 4150. Just be smart, get the mechanical one. Don't mess around with that cheapo crap down there. So hope you enjoyed. That's my PSA for the lifetime. So take care. Bye bye.